So it looked like CaitlinClark has shut down Nike headquarters in viral new footage.
The entire Nike headquarters was transformed into CaitlinClark's personal showcase as soon as she entered. Custom logo cookies and high-end outerwear that haven't even been released yet. Additionally, LeBron James most likely did not receive the hero's welcome. The biggest star in the WNBA reminded everyone of who currently oversees women's basketball. When Nike unveiled the red carpet, Clark took full advantage of it. Do you believe Nike is now treating CaitlinClark with the deference she merits, or should they have done so months ago? Tell me in the comments. Since the Team USA tryouts, CaitlinClark has remained comparatively silent. She wasn't in the news every other day. She wasn't making viral videos on a regular basis. Some individuals even started to question whether her off-season would be dull. Those folks were mistaken. Incredibly incorrect. The video that emerged from Clark's visit to Nike's Oregon headquarters is completely absurd. We're discussing a degree of care that the majority of athletes never experience during their whole careers. She received more than just a quick picture shoot invitation and a complimentary pair of shoes from Nike. They turned their whole structure into a museum dedicated to CaitlinClark. First, let's talk about the jacket. That tradition. Clark had on a Nike CC jacket. The word premium doesn't even come close to describing it. The style, fit, and flawless placement of her insignia on the chest. This item most likely costs a minimum of $3 or $400. Here's the worst part. The public isn't even able to access it yet. Clark received privileged access to stuff from Nike that isn't available in stores. That kind of pampering is only given to athletes that sell merchandise, shift the needle, and bring in billions of dollars for Nike. Employees lined up as if she were royalty when she entered the facility. They gave her a personalized little basketball emblazoned with her emblem. Embossed rather than printed. That level of attention to detail makes it clear that we're investing serious money into you. It's likely that they will begin selling those tiny basketballs, and they will run out in about 14 seconds. For a moment, let's discuss that logo. One of the greatest athlete logos in sports is CaitlinClark's CC logo at this moment. According to some, it resembles Gucci or Chanel. To be honest, that's precisely why it works. It is unisex, elegant, clean, and readily identifiable. It doesn't shout, "basketball player." It exudes a high-end brand. Nobody would question that logo if it appeared on expensive watches or purses. Consider the logos of other basketball players. The majority of them are convoluted, preoccupied, and overly ambitious. Two interwoven oceans that seem they belong on a fashion runway make up Clark's logo. That is brilliant branding, and Nike is obviously aware of it. This event's publicity materials were ridiculous. Coffee mugs with an allusion to Clark's absurd long-range shooting prowess, personalized tote bags with the phrase, "from anywhere," cookies adorned with CC designs and her logo. Every employee was enjoying the transformation of Nike's offices into a CaitlinClark theme park. In one video, Clark's logo served as the background while she took a shot on a little basketball hoop. She automatically drained it because that's what she does. The staff went crazy as if they had just seen her score a game-winning goal in the championship game. Everywhere CaitlinClark walks, she exudes that kind of vitality. Let's be honest for a moment now. Nike's handling of CaitlinClark's brand has drawn some criticism. Early on, many thought that they weren't doing enough. When Clark was shattering all women's collegiate basketball records and bringing previously unheard, where was Nike when it came to the sport? Why didn't Nike take advantage of her success right away when she was selling out venues and breaking TV ratings? However, this incident fundamentally alters the story. It's obvious that Nike is now fully committed to CaitlinClark, and they're not hiding it. The amount of effort they put into this visit to the headquarters is comparable to what they have done for their top male athletes. Here, we're talking about LeBron James territory and Michael Jordan area. It's not overstated. Watch the video. On social media, someone brought forward an intriguing point. CC material is all over Nike WHQ. We haven't seen anything like this since Michael Jordan. That's a strong claim, but it's difficult to disagree with the pictures and videos that have emerged from this incident. Nike turned its corporate headquarters, where thousands of workers actually work every day, into a showcase for CaitlinClark. That's not how athletes often look. It's a coronation. The branding for the From Anywhere challenge is quite clever. It perfectly illustrates CaitlinClark's unique ability to pull up from 30 feet and drain shots that make opponents re-evaluate their life decisions. It is marketable, memorable, and effective worldwide. Although they may not be familiar with every detail of her collegiate experience, fans in China, Europe, or South America can nonetheless understand from any location. They can see the exact meaning of the term by watching her highlights. CC Off-Season is a Twitter account that has been monitoring every action taken by CaitlinClark throughout the break. Deserves a great deal of praise for keeping supporters informed. No one is aware of its operator. It might be a member of Clark's crew. They may be a devoted fan, but they do a fantastic job of recording everything she does. Every photo, every public appearance, and every item of product is cataloged. The majority of the footage from the Nike headquarters was leaked by that account before the mainstream media were even aware of the incident. In a similar vein, CaitlinClark's style account keeps track of every clothing she dons. And the account crashed up during this Nike visit since it was clear that Clark was sporting unique Nike apparel that no one else had access to. Fans were analyzing each item of apparel to determine when they could purchase it for themselves. Although the audio isn't clear in most of the films, you can see the reactions on people's faces as Clark gives a brief speech to Nike employees. They are paying close attention to whatever she says. Even though she is only 22 years old, she is controlling a room full of designers and business leaders as if she has been doing this for decades. One noteworthy aspect is that Clark appears far thinner than she did during the WNBA season. A few people made comments regarding her weight loss. Additionally, although we're not here to examine her physique, it's important to note that she obviously prioritizes off-season conditioning. She is not resting and taking a break. She's getting ready for the next step, maintaining in top form and ensuring that she is prepared to rule when the season resumes. Now let's deal with the big issue. For CaitlinClark, why is Nike doing all of this? The answer is now straightforward and brutally honest. Cash. Clark sells more goods than practically any other NBA player at the moment. Wilson's sales skyrocketed when she wore Wilson basketballs throughout her time in college. Fans started inquiring about the release date of her trademark shoe as soon as she signed with Nike. Every article of Nike clothing she wears sells out in a matter of hours. Nike is a company, and companies pursue profits. The numbers have been run. They had witnessed Clark's television ratings. They have observed the interaction on social media. They've seen the numbers for arena attendance. The information indicates that making significant investments in CaitlinClark is not just wise. If they want to rule the women's basketball market, they must. Competition is another element at work here. In women's basketball, Adidas has been taking action. Arauer is working to restore the area's relevance. Prominent female athletes have been signed by Puma. Nike cannot afford to waste CaitlinClark's enormous cultural influence or, worse, let her when her contract is up for renewal. She investigates alternative possibilities because her relationship with the brand has become so strained. Nike is conveying several messages at once by hosting this enormous celebration at their headquarters. We all want you to succeed, CaitlinClark, and you are our first priority. Back off from other brands. We own her. Customers perceive the goods we're producing with CaitlinClark as high-end and unique. This is how other athletes perceive a top-tier collaboration with Nike. This event's timing is equally crucial. Clark recently participated in the USA team selection process. She is involved in the national dialogue. Casual fans begin to lose interest in WNBA players during the off-season until the season resumes. Nike is ensuring that Clark doesn't experience that. They are sustaining the momentum she gained during her record-breaking debut season, keeping her in the news and keeping her relevant. Examine the event's social media stats. 4 hours, the hashtags associated with CaitlinClark's visit to Nike dominated Twitter. Engagement on Instagram was skyrocketing. Millions of people watched TikTok videos related to the event. That involvement was not funded by Nike. It was naturally generated by CaitlinClark's organic fame. Corporate leaders get so excited about that kind of return on investment. "We pray for times like these," was a social media comment made in reference to this kind of corporate financing, and attention is finally being given to women's basketball. It's critical to comprehend that sentiment. Women athletes have been requesting, demanding, the same treatment, marketing funds, and production value that male athletes automatically receive for decades. Caitlin, at last, Clark is understanding. Additionally, it's boosting the standard for all women's basketball players. Let's be honest though, Nike isn't acting just out of altruism. This is taking place as a result of CaitlinClark's demonstrated ability to produce outcomes. She's shown her ability to move merchandise, get ratings, sell tickets, and create cultural events. She completed the task. Her impact and performance earned her this treatment. The personalized coffee cups, tote bags, cookies with her logo, and special souvenirs are more than just entertaining promotional items. They serve as conceptual proof. Nike is testing consumer reactions to CaitlinClark goods. They are collecting information about what things customers want, what designs work, and what pricing points make sense. This gathering served as a focus group, a celebration, and a strategic planning session for Clark's upcoming product lines. Nike has been monitoring the response to everything Clark-related they've released thus far, so when the iconic shoe eventually drops, which it will, they will already know exactly what fans want. They will be aware of the most popular hues and styles. Create the most buzz, which price range optimizes accessibility and profit. Additionally, the From Anywhere branding creates intriguing opportunities for product lines that go beyond clothing and shoes. Basketballs, compression gear, shooting sleeves, and training equipment can all have the slogan and Clark's emblem. Nike can create a whole ecosystem of CaitlinClark merchandise that appeals to fans who want to support her, young athletes who want to shoot like her, and casual customers who simply think the logo is great. We also cannot overlook the implications for women's basketball in general. Nike's significant investment in one player sends a message to the whole business that women's basketball is a lucrative sport, significant consideration. Other companies will react. There will be notice from other leagues. Other athletes will push for comparable therapy after realizing what is feasible. One Nike event at a time, CaitlinClark is literally altering the financial landscape of women's basketball. She is demonstrating that businesses can earn handsomely from women's sports if they are prepared to make the right investments. She is demonstrating that if a product is properly advertised, fans will visit, purchase goods, and interact with content. Clark is even more marketable because she has maintained her modesty throughout all of this. She isn't acting entitled or demanding attention. She arrives, performs her duties, shows appreciation to all who help her, and continues to work. A marketer's dream is to have both exceptional talent and genuine humility. That's it. Everyone was reminded by CaitlinClark that she is both the present and the future of women's basketball. Nike's headquarters celebration demonstrated that they are at last making the kind of investment she deserves. Click like and subscribe if you're excited about Clark's supremacy and would like more information that breaks down her impact. Which Nike item would you like to see from her?
Veterans are going to test you, right? And if they feel that you've gotten more money or more publicity, they're upset about it.
I saw it. She makes the right play every time. Not all the time. She makes her teammates better.
This year, CaitlinClark broke the record for three-pointers in a single.
When Michael Jordan openly declared CaitlinClark to be a better player than Angel Reese in an interview on June 5, 2025, the basketball community was rocked. The message was delivered without hesitancy or attempt to soften it. Jordan declared Clark to be the best player in the WNBA. There are no arguments or filters, just a direct evaluation. The GOAT did more than just start a discussion with that one comment. He added gasoline to an already intense rivalry.
I really don't have regrets. I am a person that says, as soon as you look back in your history and you come up with something that you feel like you want to change, something else.
On June 5, 2025, Michael Jordan made an unexpected speech that rocked the sports world. The legendary basketball player said on camera, "Angel Reese is not as good of a player as CaitlinClark. Furthermore, this wasn't a well-crafted play-it-safe remark. Jordan was direct and unrepentant. He demonstrated that Clark is more than just gifted. She's improved. The narrative is over.
Leave free money on the table when the face card comes to town. Yeah, man, because we remember last time CaitlinClark was there, bro.
This was more than simply a snub to Angel Reese. It seemed like a really public humiliation. Outrage broke out among the fans. Rhee reportedly became enraged about the remarks, according to sources.
Basketball right now, it all started from the national championship game, and I've been dealing with this for 2 years now. And understanding, negative things have probably been said about me, but...
Because Michael Jordan's words are more than just headline-grabbing statements. It bears the burden of basketball royalty. It's nearly insufficient to describe it as embarrassing for Reese. Imagine the greatest player of all time essentially stating that she is strong. The real deal, though, is this other player.
All the time, so I saw it. She makes the right play.
Because Michael Jordan's words are more than just headline-grabbing statements. It bears the burden of basketball royalty. It's nearly insufficient to describe it as embarrassing for Reese. Imagine the greatest player of all time essentially stating that she is strong. The real deal, though, is this other player.
Bigger arenas so they can try to profit off the CaitlinClark train coming to town. Most 20-point 10-assist games in WNBA history, which I think you could say that's a good game. Like that's how you classify it. Vandersloot, obviously, 430 games played, had 10 of them. Diana Taurasi, people talk about it as the GOAT, right?
The GOAT.
The GOAT.
You're damn right.
564. Where'd she go to school?
UConn.
Okay. 565 games played. She has 9 20-point 10-assist games. And then CaitlinClark, 41 games.
CaitlinClark herself is where the answer begins. Jordan saw more than just raw talent. He perceived a mirror of his own heritage. With her stunning stats, big plays, and unquestionable star power, Clark has changed women's basketball in a way that seems almost legendary. Furthermore, this wasn't merely conjecture. Jordan's close friends and longtime agent, David Falk, publicly likened Clark's impact on women's sports to Jordan's supremacy in the NBA throughout the 1990s. Take a moment to consider that. This is more than just praise. Basketball royalty is transferring the crown in a symbolic manner.
Clark signed a massive endorsement deal with...
And the figures simply serve to bolster the argument. Clark's $28 million Nike contract is more than simply cash. It's a declaration. When you combine that with Wilson's innovative signature basketball line, you have a player whose commercial appeal matches or even surpasses that of many male celebrities. Jordan's support for her is understandable. Clark is more than just women's basketball's future. At the moment, she is the game. The media machine follows. The narrative is completely changed by a single altered clip. A close-up view of Clark making contact replaces the footage of Rhee pushing Natasha Howard moments earlier. Suddenly, a new antagonist emerges and the story takes off, and in the meantime, Angel Rhee, far from being untalented, becomes ensnared in an unjust limelight. Her personality comes through on television, her skills are genuine, and her fanbase is devoted. However, Reese's brilliance seems subdued in comparison to Clark's endorsements, broken records, and now Jordan's public praise. This rivalry has been reduced to branding by the media. Rhee is the gritty challenger fighting for control of her position in the plot, while Clark is the clean-cut, marketable star.
She's great for the sport. She's great.
And the fallout has been unrelenting. With every ruling on the court and off being scrutinized in real time, Rhee is under more intense scrutiny than before. Now, the challenge is if she can overcome Jordan's remarks, change the story, and demonstrate that she is equally deserving of the GOAT's endorsement. There is one thing that cannot be denied. This has developed into more than just a rivalry. Reputations and legacies are at risk in this high-stakes drama.
Doing this again? Didn't we live through this exact same fantasy last?
Additionally, the receipts prove it. In addition to controlling the game on the court, CaitlinClark is also winning off of it. She signed the largest endorsement contract in WNBA history, a $28 million agreement with Nike, in April 2024. Give that some thought. In the league, no player has ever achieved anything near. She wasn't finished either. A month later, in May 2024, Clark made history once more when he signed with Wilson, making history as the first athlete to develop a signature basketball line with the company since Michael Jordan.
Became addicted to the attention. She became addicted to the notoriety.
Angel Ree, on the other hand, isn't competing at the same level off the court despite her extraordinary talent and accomplishments. She has the swagger, the confidence, and the awards. However, she is lagging behind in terms of marketability. Jordan's vocal support for Clark only served to increase that disparity. There is more to this than just skill. Who can develop the sport, attract casual fans, and transform women's basketball is what matters. MJ believes that player to be CaitlinClark.
College and is an instant change. She's handed pretty much being the face of.
Let's face it, though, Jordan's comments weren't merely a reference to Clark. In this rivalry, they gave Ree a direct message. You're lagging behind. It was a devastating blow for a player like Ree, who has established herself as the self-assured, unreserved team captain. Furthermore, the timing couldn't have been worse. She was undoubtedly hoping for more, not less recognition after a year of dominating the court. Rather, she was publicly reminded that CaitlinClark is the player to watch, according to basketball's greatest.
This is a top 10 list, then sitting on the top of that list, there's only...
Really, this story transcends basketball. It has to do with the narrative surrounding the sport. Clark is shown as the hero, the underdog who became famous and changed the course of the game. Ree is shown as the competitor, constantly attempting to keep up, despite all of her accomplishments. Although it's not totally fair, that's how the story is developing. Furthermore, by openly supporting Clark, Jordan is contributing to the narrative rather than only observing from the sidelines.
God, get this young woman off of social media. Someone needs to take away her phone, take away her laptop. Angel Reese and CaitlinClark, they were the biggest stars in women's basketball. Hell, you can make the case that they were two of the biggest stars in all of basketball.
Angel Ree is a name that draws attention right away. She plays with a confidence that demands respect and is powerful and forceful. She is unstoppable on the court. A real powerhouse that never keeps her feelings to herself. Here's the twist, though. Ree continues to be eclipsed by CaitlinClark despite her exceptional performances and captivating charm. And that disparity only widened with Michael Jordan's input.
Reese is the foil for CaitlinClark and vice versa. Like, they don't have to get along. They don't have to like each other.
Angel Ree and CaitlinClark have completely different personalities and styles. Ree thrives on dominance, power, and intensity. She will make sure you feel it by blocking your shot and giving you a glare. Conversely, Clark is an accurate shooter who drains threes from seemingly impossible angles with a calm assurance that confounds opponents. It's a traditional battle. The cool, deadly sniper versus the fearless enforcer.
You know, and she seemed to be more exciting than everybody else, but she also was an incredible passer and like disher in the way she went about her business. It was like, oh, this girl.
This is more than a rivalry. There is a conflict between legacies. With Michael Jordan's support, CaitlinClark has become the face of women's basketball thanks to her game-changing brilliance, record-breaking agreements, and marketability. Powerhouse Angel Reese, who possesses unquestionable talent and perseverance, faces severe scrutiny at every turn. Their fight is indicative of a larger change in the sport, increasing its prominence, earnings, and cultural significance. In the end, it's a struggle over who will shape women's basketball's future. Ree, the tenacious opponent, or Clark, the star of the generation.